Give me a little intro there, Gomer.
There's no turning back now.
Let's put on the show.
You're listening to episode 105 of the Station 71 podcast. My name is Mario, and this week I'm joined by my co-hosts,
Beth,
Brian,
and Kirsten.
So we've got some interesting news topics this week, and we are going to be answering some listener questions from you guys. I polled our Discord server and Twitter and got some good questions. I think this is going to be a fun one for us to answer. But let's dive into some of these news topics this week. First thing that we've got up here is that Walt Disney World has previewed the new menu for their barbecue restaurant at the America Pavilion in Epcot. It looks like standard barbecue fare, but each one is like different places in the U.S. So Kansas City smoked chicken, Memphis dry rub pork ribs, North Carolina chopped smoked pork butt.
Don't forget the sliced Texas beef brisket.
Yes, I was going to scroll down to that. The South Carolina smoked sausage sandwich with tangy mustard sauce and caramelized onions. That actually doesn't sound too bad.
It's because that's the best kind of barbecue.
I'm false. It's a good thing we don't record live, or that we would come to blows. I mean, live.
I'm going to say this, and you guys are going to kill me, and I'm going to have to sign off of this podcast. I'm not a barbecue person at all.
And you're
Me either. I don't eat meat.
What?
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I don't.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't really like barbecue that much, but I will defend Texas barbecue to the death.
I mean, I probably also haven't had good barbecue, so.
Mustard based for life.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of like whenever we were in South Carolina and people wanted to eat Mexican food, and I was like, but do you though? Really? Like, let's not. I wouldn't want to eat barbecue.
There are some good Mexican joints here.
Have you ever eaten Mexican food in Texas?
I think she's got a point.
I went to Torchy's Tacos. Does that count?
No.
What is Torchy's Tacos?
Torchy's is really good. I don't know if I would say it's a Mexican.
Don't
It's just like a
listen to
taco
her,
joint.
okay? She's not from Texas, so she doesn't know.
Is it a
Come
chain?
here.
Whatever.
I'll
I
take
am
you-
from South Carolina, though. So I do
Yeah, which
know
means
that we
you don't
have
know
some good
about barbecue or
Mexican
Mexican food.
Whatever. Let's not make this the barbecue episode, okay? I think we've already had one
No,
of
the
those.
sad thing is we have absolutely already had this conversation.
We have. It was a
We
bonus
have had this
episode.
conversation.
Obviously, nothing has changed. None of our opinions have changed.
All right, so barbecue in Epcot, we're excited for it. It's going to be good.
Luckily, there's something for everybody.
I do like that they have an option from every place, because I feel like if they had only picked one style, people would have been really pissed. Clearly, people are passionate about this. But I also wonder, like, is it possible to really do every style well?
That's going to be interesting. I wonder how it's going to compare to like actual local food.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The other interesting thing on here, and I know Beth will enjoy this with me, is that they're apparently offering a selection of beer and cider from around the country and wines from the West Coast as well. So, and specialty regional cocktails with and without alcohol. So it looks like they're really like trying to get as much of the U.S. in here as possible.
I think it's a good attempt for sure, because colonial America is definitely the least like exciting looking, like, you know, the pavilion itself. So having something new to bring people in to actually kind of showcase some of the food around our country is kind of nice.
I feel like people think it's very skippable because they're like, I live in America. This is not interesting to me.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, I absolutely agree with that. I think the last time we were in there, we went into American Adventure just because we needed like a break, and the Voices of Liberty were playing. So like if they weren't there, I probably wouldn't have stopped.
Mm-hmm.
So next news topic, and probably what's going to be our longest news topic this week. In an interesting turn of events, let's take this story back to the beginning. Disney announced that they were going to be charging for fuel rod swaps. So as of November 1st, they were supposed to be charging $3 for every cycle of fuel rod you would go through, which previously it was free to swap out your fuel rod. And then there was a class action lawsuit that was filed against Disney for this fee that came out of seemingly nowhere. And as of today, Disney has announced that they are not going to be implementing the $3 swapping fee. So we've come full circle, folks. We voted, and it's not going to happen.
It's nice to know that everyone's collective complaints make a difference, though.
Yeah. So should we file a lawsuit about witches going away?
I
think you missed the vote on that.
I think we might be able to file a class action lawsuit against Bob Iger, though.
For sucking.
Just in general, nothing specific, just against Bob Iger.
Just for existing.
Oh my gosh, I have to add, there's did we talk about how you wrote a book?
Yes. No.
Okay.
No, we didn't.
Okay, well, Bob Iger wrote a book, and I guess it's new, whatever. I don't pay attention to him. But I'm in this Disney College Program alumni Facebook group, and this girl posted about this book, and she was listening to it on audiobook, and she's like, it's such a good read or listen or whatever. And some people were coming back in the comments being super hostile about he's ruined Disney, and it kind of devolved into this big fight because there's some people who are, I guess, who like him, and I guess they're crazy. And then there was other people like me who were like, no, Bob Iger's the devil. I don't know. It was very entertaining.
I started to listen to it on audiobook because I got it for free, and it's really actually not that long. I think it's 9 hours, which
that sounds like hell, is listening to Bob Iger talk for 9 hours.
I mean, that's not bad for some audiobooks, but I stopped about halfway through because I realized that those kind of books are definitely not my thing. So next news topic that we have on here is that it looks like Mickey's moving into a new location in Epcot. If you want to meet Mickey, starting in looks like 2020, I think was when I saw the date on here. Yes. So early 2020, Mickey's going to be moving into the Disney and Pixar Short Film Festival area and the Imagination Pavilion. Does this spell doom for Figment, do you guys think?
I mean, well, we knew he was moving, right?
Yeah.
Just not where?
Yeah, because we knew that he was in the Inventions Pavilion before they tore that down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I mean, there's been a lot of things that have kind of come and gone in that space, so I don't really necessarily think it spells disaster yet anyway.
Yeah.
It's that's where they had Captain EO at first, right? Well,
yeah.
They had the what was it called?
Honey, I Shrunk the Audience.
Yeah. So I feel like that kind of has been a little bit of a flexible space.
Yeah. And I'm kind of hoping maybe it will draw more guests over there and then kind of say, hey, this area needs to be improved now because more guests are actually coming over here.
Yeah, that's a good point.
They've been actually, I've seen this on Twitter recently a lot, that Belle has been meeting in front of the Imagination Pavilion recently.
That is totally not good show.
I will find the picture of it because it was very, very bizarre.
That does not make sense thematically.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, what were you going to say, Kirsten?
I was going to go off topic again when you said Honey, I Shrunk the Audience. Y'all have all looked at the list of Disney Plus movies, everything that's coming. We've all heard of the Disney or Honey, I Shrunk Myself or Us or whatever. Did y'all also see that there's one of those movies called Honey, I Blew Up the Kid?
I knew that was a thing.
I've never heard of
I think
that.
I've seen it.
What? I mean, I don't know. I'm
It's
baffled
like
that
blew
somebody
up
thought
like they got bigger.
yeah, and I'm just baffled that
Oh.
somebody thought that was like a good
Oh.
name for a movie.
Wait, hold on.
Not a
Thank
great
you for
title.
clarifying that. Oh my gosh, I was sitting over here like they made a movie about that. Wow. Okay.
All right, I found the picture. I'm sending it to the chat in here. If you want to see very bizarre, out of place Belle.
Yeah, that's
I hate
weird.
it.
Yeah.
I want to say
Disney's
it's
just like,
probably
I don't know,
like,
what do we do? Just throw someone in there. Maybe it was like a practicing person. I don't know.
That's what I was gonna say. It's probably like they do like the character training in Epcot, and they do like the rare characters in that one spot where like they'll bring out 4 or 5 of them at a time, and then they'll all like meet there. But I've never seen them do that over in Imagination.
I hate it.
What? Now, does she normally meet in France? Because that would
Yes.
actually make okay.
She meets
And
in her blue dress.
That's exactly what I was gonna say too. She doesn't meet in that yellow dress, so it's very bizarre that she's one in a different
No.
costume. And
I
Well,
bet
she meets
they're
in-
trading extra bells for Christmas.
And you know-
True.
Makes sense.
you know where else she meets in that costume that I'm just now realizing? The restaurant in Norway that I'm never gonna pronounce.
Oh, Acre.
Yeah.
I don't even want to try. It's embarrassing. Somebody tell us how to pronounce that right now.
If somebody can phonetically spell that out for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, she meets in that dress when you go in for the character dining at dinner. There's a photo op with her in that dress, and then all of the other princesses come to your table.
But they're also, I mean, she meets in the Christmas dress at Epcot, and so they may just be like practicing in a big dress to prepare for
True.
Christmas.
Yeah, that's very true. And last news topic for this week. It's the most wonderful time of the year because the Jingle Cruise is now back at the Magic Kingdom, which means Halloween's dead and Christmas is here. So.
Just for the record, I am not a Grinch. I'm just a very big Halloween fan, and I'm bitter that it's over.
But Halloween's only one day.
Give me time to give me time to no. Halloween is an entire month in my house. Give me time to grieve before you start blasting All I Want for Christmas Is You by Mariah Carey, please.
Which is
Then I'll be on board.
Like, it's a fact that that's the best Christmas song in the entire universe.
I don't disagree. Not even a little.
I have to say, Beth, Christmas starts as soon as the trick-or-treaters stop coming to my door. So
No, I literally took down my Halloween decorations like 3 hours ago, and I just was sadly putting stuff back in boxes and bringing out the little bit of like generic fall stuff. Who owns Halloween decorations?
I said I don't even own any Halloween decorations.
Oh, I thought you said who even does that. I was like, oh my gosh, that is a thing.
Beth was about to drive to Texas.
I was about to throw down.
Well, while you're here, you can eat real barbecue.
Oh. We're going to be known as like the barbecue Disney show.
Do not want to be known as the barbecue Disney show. Let's move on.
So this week we asked you guys to send in your listener questions. We also kind of took some of these topics that we haven't been able to fit into a full episode and threw them into this list as well, just so we could kind of talk about some assorted stuff. So you guys are going to get a mixed bag this week. I think we could probably make it through most of these questions on here. But first up, it looks like I don't have the person that asked this, but this was a topic that was asked to us a while ago. Best bars and lounges at Walt Disney World.
I wonder what Beth
answer
thinks.
here.
There's so many good ones.
I was going to say there isn't just one correct answer here.
I mean, there is the number one correct answer, but it's not the
Obviously,
only
yes.
correct answer.
Yeah.
So obviously, we'll go ahead and get Trader Sam's out of the way because that's the best bar. But
Yes.
I would say a few of my other personal favorites. I really like the Nomad Lounge at Animal Kingdom and Tune In Lounge at Hollywood Studios.
Tune-In Lounge is so underrated.
It is very underrated. I like Spice Road Table at Epcot, the bar. You can just like walk up because they pour them real strong, and you can pay like $2 extra and make it a double. So it's like a nice little value. And I like Jock
And this
Lindsay's
is why
at Disney
Beth's name in the
Springs.
group chat is Resident Drinker.
Yes.
Jock Lindsay's is very good.
Yeah, it's fun.
My other favorite that I'm surprised you didn't mention is La Cava in Mexico. I like that. I kind of almost wish it was a little bit bigger because it feels like there's never any room in there. But like that's a good place to go, especially if you don't really know anything about tequila. Like their staff is so knowledgeable, so good, so friendly. That was like one of the first bars I ever hit at Disney.
Yeah, we
I
went to
wish the
Food and
line
Wine
wasn't always so long.
Yes, this past weekend, it was literally, I mean, it was stretched almost to the entrance of the pavilion. And I was like, yeah, I'm not waiting over an hour to go in there.
Yeah.
Another one I had was River Roost, if only for the entertainment.
Absolutely.
True, very good point.
See, that's what makes like some of these lists harder is there are specific things that make it worth it. Like personally, I think River Roost could definitely benefit from having more specialty items there that would be like unique to that location. But obviously Bob is a huge draw there, and you're not going to get that kind of entertainment anywhere else.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
So our next question that we got was, what are the sequels that you wanted but never got, and the sequels that you got but never wanted for Disney movies?
I'm still waiting on a video game for Wreck-It Ralph, Sugar Rush, the game. Where is that? I've been waiting since it came out. Bob Iger, you like to make money. Here's your chance.
Yeah.
Sorry. I have very strong feelings about Sugar Rush video game.
I don't know about sequels that I wanted but never got, but there's a lot of sequels that I got that I did not want. Let's see, Fox and the Hound 2, Pocahontas 2. I don't know if I saw Brother Bear 2. I don't even know if I knew there was a Brother Bear 2.
I don't think I did till this very moment.
There is definitely a Brother Bear 2.
Basically not all of the 2s, but most of the 2s.
Which sequels are you okay with? I think that's a better question here.
Like Lilo and Stitch 2, Stitch Has a Glitch. I think that's a good sequel. And I think that Lion King 2, Simba's Pride is good.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But there are definitely more 2s that I don't like than 2s that I do. An Extremely Goofy movie's pretty good. That's a sequel.
Yeah. Does Aladdin and the King of Thieves count, even though that's the third Aladdin movie?
Yeah, I was about to say.
Still a sequel, yeah.
Because I don't mind that one. That was a good one.
Yeah, the Aladdin sequels are fine.
I think it's one of those things again. Look what
Hunchback of
happens when
Notre
you bring back the
Dame
original
2. What is
cast.
that? Yeah.
What was that,
true.
Brian? Because I don't even want to acknowledge the animation in Hunchback of Notre Dame too. That looks like a I don't even know how to explain that. That's something else.
Atlantis 2 animation is probably even worse though, I think. You could tell that one was just like, hey, let's poop this out and see if anybody is interested.
I didn't even know there was one of those. I haven't seen a lot of these sequels. I'm not a very good Disney fan.
You're not missing much.
What about sequels we want? I would take a Big Hero 6 sequel in a heartbeat.
Oh, yes.
Oh yeah, I would be into that.
I think an Inside Out one would be kind of cool to see, like the emotions from a parent's perspective.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's a really good one. You know which one I don't really mind? I'm looking at a list of Disney sequels now, and I didn't even think of this, but Monsters University, I definitely do not mind that.
Oh, yeah. That was a good one.
Phil did not care for it. I liked it.
I think that the Pixar ones aren't bad.
Yeah, Pixar does much better with sequels than Disney animation.
Cars 2.
Cars doesn't count. Cars never count.
I would take a Ratatouille sequel about like, I don't know, Remy teaching a whole horde of rats how to cook. Like, I don't know.
Sounds like my nightmare.
like restaurant, like Kitchen Nightmares or something. With Gordon Ramsay could like be the bad guy. I don't know. I could.
That sounds like a Disney Plus show.
I would be into it. I love Ratatouille. It's so underrated.
Replace Forky Asks a Question with Remy Cooks a Meal.
I still say what a sequel I don't want is another Toy Story. Like, just I'm not saying any of them have been bad, but this does not need to be Land Before Time.
Yeah.
Yes. Like my heartstrings have been tugged enough. I don't think I can handle it again.
Yeah. What about
me
like
real bad with the third one, and then you got me again with the fourth one?
I feel like anything
about Pirates.
Oh God, no.
I'm sorry. Like I love the Pirates franchise, even the last one, which like from a storytelling and plot point of view, I understand is not a really good movie, but I don't care because they are just so much damn fun, and that is what the Pirates movies do for me.
I agree.
Yeah, I like them, but I think it's time to call it quits on the Pirates movies.
I will keep watching them forever. I love the Mermaid one. That was my favorite. Like I can't remember what it's called because I'm old, but that was I loved the one with the mermaids, mainly because I wanted to be a mermaid, but that's different.
I'm scrolling through a list of the ratings of Disney sequels on IMDb, and apparently Hercules Zero to Hero is a thing. Wasn't that the TV show?
That's what I thought.
Or was there like an actual movie? Because if there was a movie, I'm going to be very confused.
No, I'm pretty sure you're right. I think that was the TV show.
Either way, that one's listed as the lowest rated one. But after that, Leroy and Stitch is the second lowest rated one with 6.2 stars. And the most popular one, which surprisingly I didn't really like, is Ralph Breaks the Internet.
I
liked it.
I
thought it was cute.
It was okay. I think that's like, I don't know.
It had a good message. I'm really into these movies lately that aren't about romance, where the message is like, you know, you can still be friends even if you aren't constantly like in each other's faces, and you know, family love and stuff like that. Like I think that's a nice message to be promoting in this day and age.
Yeah, I loved Wreck-It Ralph so much. I just feel like they could have done it better, but I like the message too. I did love the Disney princess part.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
So apparently I screwed up on IMDb, and I have to correct myself because I know if I don't, someone else is going to correct me. I just now sorted it by IMDb rating, not popularity. And the lowest rated movie is Hunchback of Notre Dame 2, following Pocahontas 2 and Cinderella 2. And then the most popular is actually Fantasia 2000 because they count that as a sequel.
2000.
Yeah.
I don't think it really counts as a sequel. You're right, but
it goes Fantasia, Ralph Breaks the Internet, Rescuers Down Under, and then Lion King 1.5, which I don't know if we even want to touch that one.
That's the top list?
That's the top 4. It's Lion King Lion King 1.5, Rescuers, Ralph Breaks the Internet, and then Fantasia.
Interesting.
I'd like to know the demographics of their sample size.
Except IMDb has it listed as The Lion King 3, Hakuna Matata.
It's not at all what it's called.
I mean, the cover art, the poster is Lion King 1.5, but
oh man, how'd they mess that up that bad?
I don't know. All right, so favorite characters and where to meet them. I think we've talked about this one a little bit before.
So I'm not a
Kirsten
big
said
character
none
person, as I've said
and nowhere.
before. But I tried to think about the few that I have seen kind of somewhat recently, and actually picked like a face character and a costume character. For the costume one, I did Stitch at obviously Magic Kingdom. He like was a lot of fun, and especially did a good job for not being able to like verbally communicate with guests. Like he did a ton of interactive stuff and like goofing around and everything, and I think that made it a lot better than the majority of the like costume characters at the parks.
Nice.
Stitch is a really good meet and greet. I think you're right. He is like the most expressive out of like the characters that can't talk.
Mm-hmm. And I remember like actually specifically saying something about that like after we met, that just like it felt much different. Like, and again, I'm not a huge character meet and greet guy, but I have noticed it seems like a lot of the character meet and greets are generally like for non-face characters. You walk up, they might do some little quick short thing, you take your pictures and you leave, and there's not a whole lot more that they can do with that. But Stitch was definitely different than most of those.
Yeah.
And then for my face character, I did Ariel at the Grotto at Magic Kingdom. I think she was just really like, again, interactive and like talked a lot. And the last time we went, which was I don't know, probably 2 years ago or so, it's been a while, but I still definitely remember doing that one just because like how interactive she was. I didn't feel rushed going through it and everything. Just a really good meet and greet.
I was thinking about this earlier too, and the most fun I've had at a meet and greet, Stitch is definitely up there, but I think Baymax tops that, because when that movie first came out and they put the Big Hero 6 meet and greet in Inventions, rest in peace. I cannot remember going to a character meet and greet and feeling more like a kid again than meeting Baymax, because as soon as we like came around the wall and you could see him and like it was our turn to take the picture, I like instantly was like, oh my gosh, I have to hug Baymax. That's Baymax. And that was like the coolest character meet and greet ever. But for face characters, I think the I don't know if you would count this as a meet and greet, but I like the characters that are walking around on Citizens of Main Street and in Hollywood Studios, so Citizens of Hollywood too. I think those are always a fun like interaction with a character that's not really like a Disney character. So yeah, definitely one to check out.
Good.
Have
you guys ever met any like super rare characters?
Maleficent and Cruella. But that was at a college program event. But those are really fun. I will say, okay, Maleficent was my favorite character to meet. Yeah. Because, like, that's who I am in my soul.
I met Maleficent and Cruella and the Evil Queen and
Hades. Did you meet Hades? I forgot he was there too.
But mine was at
that villain thing,
special ticketed event. Was it whatever it's called? I can't even remember now. But yeah, I agreed. They were super fun. I thought Cruella was hilarious. She had such an attitude, and I was like really there for it.
Yeah. Yeah, ours did too.
But
so did Maleficent.
Yeah. So I think they were really fun and interactive. And even I got Laz to go and meet with the Queen of Hearts, and he even enjoyed it. And he's definitely not a meet and greet kind of person. I also, my like, I guess, quote unquote rare character, like my fave is like Dr. Facilier, because he was really fun and was totally Dr. Facilier from like top to bottom, with the smooth talking and the mannerisms and everything. It was really great. Yeah, I really just, I can't think of a time that I've had like a bad experience at a meet and greet. So I appreciate that.
Does Kevin count as a character meet and greet? I know that you can't really stop and take pictures with Kevin, but that is one of my favorite character experiences in the parks.
Yeah, I think that counts. Also really like watching the stormtroopers. I know that's not really a meet and greet either, but I think their interactions with the crowds are really fun. And similarly, I don't know if they do this anymore. What are those little things from Star Wars called with the eyes, with the hoods on, and they used to like trade things with them?
Oh, the Jawas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to just like go in launch bay and just watch them interact with people. I thought that was really fun.
So this next question came from Danny in our Discord. She asked, I think it would be super interesting to hear what roles you would most want to be if you were cast members. Anything from Imagineering to custodial.
Show writer for the Imagineers.
That's good.
Or actually, if they wanted me to come in and clean the floor with a toothbrush, I would do that too.
Yeah, definitely anything with Imagineering would be incredible.
I think I'd really like to be a tour guide.
I was just about to say that. I was going to say, like, as typical of an answer as Imagineering is, I feel like that would be like right up my alley, like taking people around the park and walking them to different places.
Yeah.
Would you want to do like the celebrity tour guide things, or like the Keys to the Kingdom tour guide stuff?
I would want to do tours with people that are as big a nerd as I am.
Okay.
Not people who are doing it because they have a bunch of extra money that they don't know what to do with. Because then we could nerd out together and they would ask good questions.
You could do the behind the scenes tour.
I would do that. That'd be fun.
I would love to also work in the Seas Pavilion. That would be a cool place to work. If I had to be like a ground level cast member, like that would be where I would want to hang out.
I want to be the person that takes people on the dive quest and goes scuba diving every day.
That would be awesome.
Mario, do you just want to work in there so you get to skip having to go on Nemo and Friends to get in the Seas
You're never
Pavilion?
going to let me live that down.
I missed this.
So I've been arguing for the last couple weeks that every time I've gone to the Seas Pavilion, I've had to ride Nemo because there's no other way to get in. Like, you're not supposed to walk through the line or the door in the gift shop, because every time I walk up there, I feel like the door has been closed, which it has been a couple times. So last week we were talking and Brian says, oh, well, I'm going to Epcot this weekend. We're doing food and wine. I'll walk up to the Seas Pavilion and find out for you. And I was like, okay, let me know. So Brian, being the smart that he is, sent us a video in our group chat of him walking through the doors at the Seas Pavilion, and I've never felt like more of an idiot.
Hey, but now you know, and you don't have to ride it anymore.
Thank God. And the worst part is, like, when you sent that, we were out, like, shopping, and I made a point. I asked Andy, I was like, hey, every time we've gone into the Seas Pavilion, we've had to ride Nemo, not out of, like, we need to ride Nemo, like, because we actually have to get in there, right? And she was like, yeah, I definitely remember that we couldn't go through the doors. I was like, yeah, well, we were both wrong. And I showed her the video.
Hey, man, maybe they changed it recently.
That's amazing. I don't think you're allowed to host a Disney podcast if you didn't know that was a thing.
All right, well, I guess it's time for me to leave, so I'm going to hand the show over to Brian.
Now, so.
Oh,
it's so funny. I feel bad that you had to ride Nemo and Friends that many times.
I feel like this is going to be like a running thing now. I'm never going to ride Nemo again because now I don't have to.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing for the past couple of years.
I seriously wonder how many people fall into that trap. Like, if you have fallen into the trap of Nemo and Friends, please let me know so I don't feel so alone. Remember
that episode whenever Brian was like, "Oh, I'm a big old dumb." I feel like this is your turn for that. We all have fun.
Slowly discovering that one. Oh. So did you guys
back
have
to the cast
other,
member? Oh yeah, definitely.
roles?
Jungle Cruise skipper.
Oh, that's a good one.
It's Will's retirement job. that's what he's gonna do. I would definitely go back to vacation planning because it was fun. I would also be Belle, duh, but there's an age limit on that I'm quickly surpassing.
Now,
I
so
would be tour
you
guide
did
too.
vacation planning before?
Yeah.
Do you find that like stressful at all? It seems like that would be kind of, I don't know. I would feel very nervous about like messing up anyone's plans that had a big trip coming up.
So vacation planning, so they like to call it vacation planner, but really, you know, when you go to the TTC and they have all the ticket booths, that's what that is. So you're not technically planning anybody's vacation. Like people do ask for advice a lot, and like you'll be amazed at how dumb people are. And so I did love getting to help people, like whenever I had time, like, oh, well, how old are your kids? Like, what do they like? You know, and giving them recommendations like, oh, well, you should definitely ride this, or like this show they would probably really enjoy. So I love that part of it. And like you get to, in the afternoons, you can go and do pack parade audience control for the 3:00 parade, and you can pick up shifts at night to do that. And so you get to like be paid to watch wishes. Not anymore. You know, and so I mean, would I do it now? I mean, if they paid me enough, yeah. But if we're talking just dream jobs where income doesn't matter, I would go back to that. It wouldn't be my first choice, but it was a fun job and I would totally do it again.
So our next question on here comes from Amanda in our Discord as well. She asks, if you had the chance to interview any Disney Imagineer, living or dead, who would it be? And what are 3 questions you would ask them? This may be like a comeback question.
Oh God, I gotta think about this.
Oh.
I would want to interview Walt Disney and ask him for advice on how to turn the company around.
Does he count?
He's the OG Imagineer, is he not?
Yeah, I guess.
I think if you coin the term.
Hang on now. Here's the issue, though. Is if you consider Walt Disney an Imagineer, does that mean that you have to consider Bob Iger an Imagineer?
No. Oh, wrong. He hasn't earned that. Not even a little bit.
So I actually wrote a couple of these down for mine. I picked Joe Rohde, and let's see, I got 3 questions. I think y'all might know what one of them is going to be, but one is, what influence do you think that Animal Kingdom has had on theming cohesion for future Disney parks? Because I really think the work, especially that Joe Rohde put into Animal Kingdom, showed kind of like how successful a park can be when you plan it, you know, from the ground up with this kind of centralized theming in mind. And I don't know like what future Disney parks might do something on the same level as Animal Kingdom, but I think I'd love to see another park that was like so centrally focused on one thing. And then another question I had for him would have been, do you think that choosing Dino Land over Beastly Kingdom at the opening of Animal Kingdom was the correct choice for the direction of the park? And then finally, when are you going to fix the Yeti?
No.
I feel like he gets that so much. That would have to be like your final question.
No, yep. But he
I mean, if you would just fix it, people would stop asking.
He came out and said he will fix the Yeti. So we got to see it. It's got to happen.
Those are good questions, though.
Those are good questions.
I would meet. Well, first, Brian, why don't you follow Joe Rohde on Instagram? He posts all the time.
He does.
Really?
Yeah, I comment on his stuff sometimes because he replies to a lot of people. So I'm just waiting for my chance.
You should ask him if we can interview him. I'm sure we can't.
Didn't he say he won't do interviews about Disney?
I'm pretty sure his website says that.
I'm sure he has a serious non-disclosure.
So let's interview him about something else.
I think that's how some other places have gotten around that.
Yeah,
I would just
like,
we
talk
should
about all of
probably
his travels.
we should probably stop talking about this so our listeners don't get their hopes up. But he does and before you go away from Joe Rohde, he does a lot of like history about stuff that he uses in his like design work too, which is really fascinating. Like he'll post pictures of places that he's been and talk about how it's inspired different places in the parks. It's not like all that he posts, but that's like one of the cool things that he does.
Yeah. And he posts like he'll write the history of something and write it to like the tune of a song. Like it's just I can't believe that there's somebody that's that creative, like, and just smart. His knowledge is he just knows like something about everything.
Oh yeah.
Well, I am officially
reading
following
his
him
caption.
now.
Reading his captions on Instagram are like reading a novel though, because sometimes he posts a lot of text under those photos.
I would meet Marty Sklar. My favorite, the only Imagineer that's been to every park opening so far. I would ask him what was Walt like, and I would probably have a million follow-up questions just from that. Maybe Walt's best and worst qualities or what he admired about Walt. And I would ask him the best and worst decisions leaders have made, like leaders being Walt, Bob Iger, Michael Eisner, Roy, just what he thinks the best and worst decisions for the parks have been. And then his favorite ideas that never made it to a park, like favorite attraction ideas.
That's good.
That's a really good one.
Yeah, that's the one you probably don't get to hear too much about is the like, I don't necessarily say failed, but yeah, the ones that didn't make it. I think that's always interesting to hear about.
Kind of to that degree, I didn't really get a chance to think about this one, so I don't have a solid 3 answers. But when you started talking about Joe Rohde, I was thinking about Tony Baxter, and I was thinking that like I'd want to know more about his original designs that were on the chopping block for like the land and imagination and stuff that we didn't get to see. And like Kirsten said, the stuff that he designed but never even made it past the drawing phases. Because I think like looking at the designs that are out there from him, that's the stuff that's fascinating to me. And then our last 2 questions came from our friend Grant, who said, what Disney classics do you want to see live action remakes of?
None.
That was his first question.
Sorry, that was a little aggressive.
I'm still sticking with I want to see a live action of Hercules with my fan casting choices.
I'm going to go with none like Beth, but what I'll say is what I would like to do is I would like to see the 3D animated movies remade as hand-drawn animations.
Ooh.
That would be very cool.
I'm into
Flip
that.
the scale.
Is there any in particular you'd like to see?
The most underrated Disney movie ever, Ratatouille. I think that would be a really fun one. Just because you could give rats so much character,
It's not a thing I ever thought I'd hear anyone say.
I mean, I just love that I feel like in the hand-drawn, the expressions and like the movements of animals it's just so fun, like Miko and what's Flick and just, I don't know. I love it. Like they just have so much more character when they're hand-drawn rather than 3D or so much more human character, maybe like, so I don't know. I think that would be really fun.
Yeah.
Toy Story would be creepy AF though.
Oh, for sure.
I think Moana could be cool. Or maybe Coco.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Is it cheating to say that I would be cool with them redoing Tangled in the way that they're doing the animated series? Because I've heard nothing but good things about the animated series.
Oh, I like that style. Man, this needs to be the new movement.
It'll never happen.
No.
I think there was a. What were you gonna say?
Just you go ahead because I had a follow-up question.
I thought I like had a dream about this, but oh no, okay, I actually did see this. Apparently, Disney is actually open to returning to hand-drawn animation. I was looking online for something and I came across this article from Inside the Magic, and I would be totally cool with them like returning to this.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, and I know that they don't do it. I was just gonna say, I mean, I know that the 3D animation is a lot cheaper and less time consuming for them to do, but I mean, they know that pretty much every animated movie they put out, makes tons and tons of money. So, I would love to see them, even if it was, a once every 5 years thing, for them to put out an actual hand drawn animation, just as kind of at least a bone to throw to the fans,
Yes.
I hope that Disney Plus opens up the opportunity for stuff like that, which maybe wouldn't be as like big and grand as like a theatrical release. So follow-up question, Beth?
Oh, my follow-up question was going to be, if you had to pick a movie to see a live action remake made of, what would you pick? I know a lot of us don't want to pick, but you got to.
So I had
gun to your head.
We're going for Nightmare Fuel. I would say Chicken Little.
Oh God!
Oh my goodness! No.
I think if you're going for Nightmare Fuel, you would say Zootopia.
I don't know.
Yeah, true.
I've seen the Chicken Little meet and greets in the parks, and those are already terrifying enough. So.
How can you say that that's terrifying when we have the Country Bears meeting and greeting in
the
parks?
That is legit Nightmare Fuel. Like gaping mouths.
It's hard.
Yeah, this is really hard.
I thought that, and I don't know if it would be live action or like air quotes live action like The Lion King was, but I think The Fox and the Hound would actually be kind of a cool one to see a live action remake of.
Aren't they doing that?
That would be interesting.
Yeah, they could.
Oh, really?
That. Thought they were doing.
Really?
Maybe, I might be crazy. I don't know. I'm old. Don't listen to me.
You know what? I have this one. I want to see a live action remake of Atlantis.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, that is a great one.
Disney should. The thing that I've been saying about these movies that I think makes this like an absolute obvious pick for me is that Disney should revisit the movies that didn't do so hot and like put a new twist on them. Do something to kind of like change it up instead of just retelling your most popular movies. But I guess that's also kind of a gamble.
I agree with that also because Atlantis is like all humans, and that's a lot easier. It comes across a lot better, I feel like, than trying to CG animals with emotions.
Yeah. And in that same vein, give me a live action Treasure Planet.
Ugh.
Could work. It could be really, really weird though.
Yeah.
I don't know if this would be crazy, like really disturbing or really funny, but I'll say The Emperor's New Groove.
That would be interesting. And that could definitely work too.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going for Disney movies that are going to make you laugh, I feel like that's at the top of the list. That movie is just hilarious.
So apparently the Disney is reportedly working on a live action Fox and the Hound, according to Inside the Magic.
Interesting.
Supposed to have Mickey Rooney and Kurt Russell in it.
Mickey Rooney?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know he was still alive, to be honest.
Let me see when this article was written. Earlier this year, September 6th.
Mickey Rooney died. Is there a new Mickey Rooney? Because he died on my birthday in 2014.
Oh.
You know what he was in that was absolutely the best?
What?
Phantom of the Megaplex.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
So excited to watch that.
Movie.
I
I literally watched it like 2 weeks ago. I was like getting into like all
I
of
can't
old
wait to see it.
Oh my
DComs.
god. Okay, sorry,
It's on
Mario.
Disney now.
what was that?
I get the dumb of the week award. Don't worry. Those were from the original one. They said they don't know who's gonna be in the new one yet. All right, I should read more before I start speaking. I didn't remember Kurt Russell being in the original though, so that threw me off.
Kurt
Oh,
Russell.
okay. I feel
didn't know
a
that
lot better
either.
now.
Let me see.
Obligatory. Kurt
Oh.
Russell was in a movie with Cher.
Oh, there it is. Bingo points.
Wow, he was Copper.
Really?
Hey,
Yep.
which one was Copper?
Really?
Dog.
That's the dog.
Oh, I mean Mickey Rooney or Kurt Russell.
Oh, Kurt Russell was Copper. Mickey Rooney was Todd.
Okay.
I still don't hear it either way.
Yeah.
No, I
Oh,
don't
either,
either. I'm gonna
like-
have to rewatch that.
Yeah, can we just
Yeah,
cut the
when I'm
last
feeling
5
really
minutes
sad.
of this out?
Oh no, that's
Oh,
staying in
no.
the episode. But bringing it back around, you know what other movie I would totally be okay with seeing a live action of? Sword in the Stone.
Ooh,
That's
That's
actually what I
one.
was thinking.
Yeah, I feel like that's one that doesn't get a lot of love.
Yeah.
I've
That's-
never seen that.
It's pretty good, I think. Like I don't hate it.
Wow, Mickey
think
Rooney
it's
was married
cute.
7 times.
What?
Mickey Rooney was married 7 times.
Wow.
That's a lot.
All right, Mickey. That is
Dude,
a
he had
lot.
11 kids.
How many kids?
11. That's like a football
Dang.
team.
Oh, one side of the ball, but yeah.
Huh.
Who would want 11 children?
Oh boy.
That's a great
Anyway.
question.
Well, our final question to wrap this listener questions episode up is you get to remove one ride and replace it with anything you want. Has to fit the available space. What do you do? I'm going to say this is probably another gun to your head question because
Ooh.
like
Oh no, this was not for me. At least not with my answer.
really?
I will say, I don't know if it meets any of the requirements, and I know absolutely for sure that it would not happen. But what I would love to see them do is take the Tomorrowland Speedway out and just put in Disneyland Paris's Space Mountain from the Earth to the Moon right next to the original Space Mountain. Because I think that they are different enough rides that you could do that.
All right. I can
So, are we
But I know it
replacing
won't
it
happen.
with another ride that exists currently, not an imaginary thing?
I think
You can
could
imagine it
replace
as long as
with
it-
anything.
Yeah, as long as it fits the space.
Well, that's too hard. Do you think that Tower of Terror would fit where the Country Bears is? We could just have two
Wow.
Oh
towers.
my god.
No.
It just doesn't make sense thematically, Kirsten.
He's just trying to be hateful.
I'm gonna keep thinking. Somebody else go.
I would say my thing that when we did that episode a while back is replacing the ride in Mexico Pavilion with Coco themed.
Yeah, I really liked that idea.
Also,
Oh, go ahead.
replace Journey into Imagination with the original.
Yep.
I mean, that's one of those that you could argue it doesn't fit the current space, but it definitely it's the half of it's probably still back there.
I would take out Tomorrowland Speedway and make that part of Fantasyland, since it's right there on the border, and make it into my Villains full service table service restaurant, my dream one that I think I've talked about in an episode before.
I like that.
That's good because I think Magic Kingdom needs a couple more sit-down restaurants.
Yeah, this is going to be a good restaurant. This is not like Tony's.
I still can't think of one.
Gun to your head now.
That's
3,
the thing.
2, 1.
Yeah, I'm just gonna die. That's
You're
how this is gonna work.
Oh no.
I don't know. The worst part is like to me, I just feel like I'm not creative enough to replace something like in the parks, like with my own idea. But if I did have to bring anything over from another park, I would want to bring Mystic Manor over. I just don't know where I would put it.
Ooh, I know where you'd probably put it, but I don't want to say it.
Yeah, that's why I didn't want to say it because it's not going there.
You could remove the tangled restroom. Oh, that's not a ride. Dang.
It's also there's definitely not enough space there.
You think you could squeeze it? I don't know if there's like backstage area behind Swiss Family Treehouse for like to do
We
a
could just
facade in the
replace
show
with
building.
Family Treehouse.
No, that's what I meant. I meant taking
Yeah.
Swiss Family Treehouse out and putting it there. I just don't know if it'd fit.
Or you know what? Here's what we do.
We make
We're
it
gonna
fit.
get rid of. All right, that wasn't what I was gonna say, but here's what we do. Instead of bringing Mystic Manor over, give me a new scarier version of Haunted Mansion, but put it where Tom Sawyer Island is, so you still have to ride the boats to get over to it.
Ooh.
Put alligators in the pond. Oh, wait, there already are some.
You know, I know this is kind of past the holiday season for it, but you know what would actually be kind of cool, and again, Disney would probably never do it, but if they did some kind of like almost haunted trail type thing on Tom Sawyer Island for Halloween.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
They got to do something to get people out there. I mean, what is it even doing, really?
Sitting there being incredible.
I mean, yeah, I understand that, but it's not a big draw to people that aren't like us.
No.
I beg to
Especially-
differ. I have not been out to Tom Sawyer Island in a very long time.
I love it.
Did you know that
no
there's a
denying,
back way? You don't actually have to take the raft over.
Oh, I hate this so much.
Have you been taking the raft every time, Mario?
I hate this so much.
You know, for about the first 2 seconds you were saying this in the back of my head, I was like, holy shit, there's another way to get over there. And I'm like, oh, I see what she's doing.
Take the secret way. Go on the Liberty Bell.
Oh my gosh. That's a good one, Kirsten.
That was a good one, and I I walked right into that. So, do you guys have anything else you wanted to talk about before we wrap this week up?
No.
Nope. Then that's going to do it for us this week. Thanks for joining us again on another episode of the Station 71 podcast. If you like what you heard, be sure to subscribe to us on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts from. For full show notes and other Disney content, you can find us on our website at station71podcast.com, Twitter at station71pod, facebook.com/station71pod, and Instagram at station71podcast. Be sure to join our Discord channel for some more in-depth Disney discussion at bit.ly/s71chat. We hope you enjoyed your ride, and we'll see you real soon.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.